we're getting ready for I suppose week 15, so the first week of your fantasy playoffs. In a world where Mahomes and Lamar Jackson might miss the genuine playoffs to be replaced by CJ Stroud and Trevor Lawrence. But one has to ask, is this the real life or is it fantasy? You know what I mean? Class. We will move on into our recap of week 14, everything that happened there. It was a busy, exciting week in the NFL. We had like a bit of a crowding the mic watch party at my house,
Yeah.
which was great to see my team actually win.
Yeah, for the Jags, of course.
I was really nervous that the Jags were going to embarrass me in a big spot there, but no, they didn't let me down. Got the
Against
win.
your other favourite team, of course. Against your other favourite team, of course.
against my other favorite team. Against a team like this is the crazy thing. If we want to talk about like brief recap of the weekend, you're looking at the Colts, who were the number 1 seeds not so long ago, who are now out of the playoffs currently.
Yeah,
you're looking at the Bears, who were the number 1 seeds in the NFC before the weekend, lost and are now the number 7 seeds. So that's pretty crazy. It's just like the margin for error at the top is just so slim. There's quite a few teams who are kind of in that gray area. I think we talked about it last week, that the NFC North and the NFC West both had 3 teams in our top 10 in our power rankings.
Oh, yes, okay.
One of those teams has to miss out. That's it. At the moment, it would be the Bears. I think maybe the Bears and the Lions at the moment. So, yeah. So you could have 2 of those teams missing out. It's just wild. So, yeah, last week, I mean, to stick on the actual games, the actual NFL games, we had our locks and our upsets, as we always do. And we didn't do too bad. What were we overall? 1, 2, 3, 4. We were 5 out of 8 overall.
So, that's pretty good.
So we'll start with the bad one. Thomas, who had his, I don't know, just this awesome moment last week where he predicted the Bears would win on Black Friday against the Eagles. And everybody threw...
He must have dreamt about it or something.
Everybody threw flowers at him and just showered him in praise and glory. And it went to his head. And he was like, you know what? I'm going to lock the Cowboys over the Lions. And that was wrong. And my upset of the week is going to be the Bengals over the Bills. And that was wrong. So...
That was 2 close games, wasn't it? Kind of.
The Lions, it was a pretty convincing win in the end. I think 44-30, but it was pretty, they had it in control most of the game.
Okay.
And then the Bengals, there was a crazy stat with the Bengals that they, what is it, in shootout games, quote unquote shootout games, which are games where both teams score more than 30 points.
Okay.
Since the start of last season, the Bengals have been involved in 8 of those. And they have lost 7 of them. So typically when they get into a shootout, either their defense isn't good enough to get over the line, or Burrow makes one mistake and the team aren't good enough to recover from it. So that's what happened when they came up against Josh Allen, who was just I don't know, unbelievable.
On forms was.
Yeah, this is something they're talking about as well. Like, the Bills are going to be moving out of their stadium at the end of this year.
Great.
And probably, I don't know the details of the new stadium. I'd imagine it'll have a roof of some sort. I really hope it doesn't, because a snow game in Buffalo is just one of the best things. Josh Allen thrives in those games. It's minus 20 degrees and he's out there just running. Running through ankle deep snow and fucking defenders. Oh, there's something else about it, really. But it'll be a thing of the past. I think it's because a couple of years ago, maybe it was last year, they had a game that they had to move locations because there was a really bad storm in Buffalo. So they had to play their game in Detroit or something. So they had to pack up, fly to Detroit. Josh Allen could barely even get to the airport because they were snowed in that badly. So
Jeez.
That's the argument for maybe let's get an all-weather kind of stadium. Who knows? Maybe just, relocate. I don't know. Don't say that to Buffalo fans. That's with the 1-8 fans. The only other person who got one wrong last week was myself. I went for the Bears over the Packers. I was
How could you?
feeling it in
How
the
could you?
upsets. I was like 6.5 points, not even that big an upset. Ben Johnson came out in his press conference before the game and said that, you know, he wants nothing more than to beat Matt LaFleur twice this year. That's the head coach of the Bears calling out the head coach of the Packers. So I was like, of course he's going to beat him twice. Of course he is. I got my Colson Loveland touchdown, but I didn't get a Bears win. But I did get a Dolphins win over the Jets. I feel like that was the softest lock I've ever had in my life.
Though that locking against the Jets didn't work for me last week, like, so
yeah, well,
it's not always a search, like.
This is it, but they got up early in that game. Tyrod Taylor got injured. Yeah, it wasn't good for the Jets. Who do they play next week? It's the Jags next week.
Yeah, exactly. You don't want to talk about that game, so you don't, just in case.
We had, well, yourself, you had a double success with the Texans over the Chiefs. Great lock.
Yeah.
Locking, I think they were the underdog in that one as well. Great one.
Yeah, they were, yeah.
And upset, Steelers over the Ravens, upset, which Adam went for as well. So, you know, there you go. That was a bit of a coin flip game. And if you didn't see it, the catch that wasn't a catch at the end of that game.
Oh, no, it didn't.
So Ravens are driving down the field. They're 27-22 down. They pass it into the end zone to Isaiah Likely, who catches it, gets 2 feet down, and then the ball gets punched out at the end of it. But he's in the end zone. So everybody's like, it's a touchdown. And they put the touchdown up on the board and everything. And it's all fine. And then the referees kind of get together and they take the touchdown off the board. And all the Ravens players are like, what the hell's going on? But we just scored and they're all arguing about it. But yeah, the touchdown got removed. They had a whole big discussion that he didn't make a football move, all this kind of stuff. But that's how close it came to the Ravens winning that one.
Right. Flip, okay. Yeah, I didn't realize it was that close. Like.
Yeah, but the Steelers actually played quite well. The Ravens still look broken. Like Lamar Jackson just doesn't look right. And then Adam.
It is the first week he kind of did well though, like, so it is, which is at least the benefit of some way. Like.
Well, yeah. I don't know what his rushing stats were, but the Ravens' rushing stats were really good. Overall, they rushed for over 200 yards. So I'd imagine he's actually starting to run the ball a little bit again. And Adam went for the Jags over the Colts as his lock, which great lock. Anytime you can lock somebody up and then they just go and win by 17 points, you know, easy.
And it's surprising that Adam didn't jinx them instead. You know, that actually did work out that way.
I know. I want them to stop at some point because I'm trying my best to like talk them down and get everybody just like calm down. The Jags are still the Jags. We're still going to keep doing Jags things. Just let us be. Let us enjoy this. But Adam's like, no, you guys are, you're gonna like win the rest of
the Super Bowl.
You're gonna win the rest of your games, and you might win your division. You're like, just chill. We're happy enough in our little 3rd seed, top of the division world at the moment, but we know that the Texans are going to come and steal it from us at some point. So yeah, that was a lot of upsets. Again, I'd say quite successful. We're doing quite well in those kind of stakes.
Over 50%, I think, is a good thing to aim for. Like,
yeah, especially when we're setting ourselves like a strict enough kind of boundary where we've got that 5-point kind of like, we can't just go and lock somebody who's like a 10-point favorite and basically guarantee to win. We're having to really find close matchups. That's interesting. In terms of the bold predictions, everybody always wants to know how Adam did in his bold predictions. He's got his little following, I think, that's starting to develop out there. The more he goes to bars and talks to strange men. But he had the Cowboys and Texans to win. So he lost that one on Thursday night when the Cowboys got beat. He went for the Cowboys and Texans to win, but he didn't go for either of those as his locks and upsets.
I was just about to say that. Like, you would think you would have picked at least the Texans or something like for his.
Yeah, but he got that wrong. But he did go for the Jags to win. Obviously, he had them as their lock. But he also had Trevor Lawrence to do better than Daniel Jones, which is pretty easy when one of them's missing an Achilles. and
Yeah.
ETN over or greater than Jonathan Taylor in terms of rush yards. And this is where he came so close, guys. 74 yards. They both finished the game with 74 yards. Crazy.
It's like they knew his ball protection was on.
I think ETN got benched with about 10 minutes to go as well. So, oh man, that bold prediction cursed by the Jags' success, which is a weird thing to be cursed by. But he did go right on the Seahawks winning by 21 plus points, which is bold enough. I think, any team winning by that kind of margin, I think that's really hard to predict.
I think, especially we looked at the start, they're kind of going.
Yeah, it was like
I think they both got a kick together or something out there.
3-3 until nearly half time, and then whatever happened, whether it was turnovers or whatever, just the Seahawks started to run away with that one. The Kirk Cousins led Falcons. That's my tip. Like, I think if I've got like a few managers or a few head coaches in mind that I think are going to get fired, I think maybe Raheem Morris of the Falcons, because I just don't see the vision there. I don't know what his plan is. I know he's only nearly the end of his second season, but there's too much going wrong.
Yeah, because did they start the season all right, or were they always kind of just?
They were. I mean,
because I feel like they weren't.
Let's see. What was the Falcons' schedule? No, they've been on a really bad run of games, but they started the season. Where are we?
I feel like they weren't that bad at the start, or maybe I just wasn't paying attention enough.
They were 3-2 after beating the Bills, so that's a good sign. They lost a close one against the Bucks, but they got blown out by the Panthers at one point there, 30-0.
Flip, yeah.
This was where we didn't really know what the Falcons were as a team at that point. And then the wheels came off. I don't think. What record are they on? Have they won a game since then? Maybe 1-1.
Doesn't look like it. No, they haven't. It was a close one with the Panthers there, but
yeah. So they've just gone on this crazy losing streak, and their quarterback Penix is going to miss the rest of the season. So they've got the Kirk Cousins thing to deal with.
Oh yeah.
No amount of Bijan Robinson can kind of save you from what's going on. Drake London's injured as well, so it's not like you can just blame Kirk Cousins because you're throwing Kirk Cousins into an unwinnable kind of situation.
Yeah.
But even their defense has started to falter over the last few weeks. So him, and weirdly, I always kind of had my eye a little bit on Kevin Stefanski, the head coach of the Browns. He's won Coach of the Year twice, I believe, since he took over the Browns. But in the other years, when he hasn't won Coach of the Year, he's just been terrible. And this year has kind of been on my radar the way he's, not necessarily, I don't want to be one of those like Shedeur Sanders has been mistreated by the organization kind of guys, but it's kind of obvious when you see Shedeur Sanders take over as the quarterback and he's actually starting to do stuff that he was a better option than Dillon Gabriel, who they started for so many weeks.
Yeah.
And it's obvious now that they kind of know that because Dillon Gabriel was only out with concussion, so he missed a couple of weeks and was eligible to then come back into the squad, and they haven't started him. So they've obviously caught on and gone like, oh, okay, well, Shedeur Sanders, and they've said that he's now going to start the rest of the season. What I didn't understand from the weekend was Sanders was going off. He was throwing touchdowns left, right, and center. They get down to the end of that game, and they need a 2-point conversion to tie that game. The 31-29 down against the Titans, not ideal. Against the lowest ranked team in our power rankings. But he's just scored the touchdown to then have the 2-point conversion to maybe tie the game. So this is the genius move by your offensive-minded head coach. You take Shedeur Sanders off the field and you run a trick play where you direct snap it to your running back, who's then supposed to pitch it to the wide receiver coming the other way. Except your running back forgets to pitch the ball. Because obviously he doesn't have a clue what he's doing on the play, so he completely forgets to pitch it, panics, turns and sees the wide receiver across the way and just throws it at the wide receiver, like on the other side of the field. It falls incomplete, of course, because, this is the NFL and
Yeah,
not
he's
like
not a
Pee Wee Football League. But yeah, it's a strange thing when your quarterback's been scoring so consistently. They take him off the field with a game on the line.
Yeah, it's
So yeah, they're not going to fire Kevin Stefanski, but I just don't know about him. I don't know. I do think if he got fired, somebody would hire him quite quickly, which is
already
probably why they won't fire him. But
yeah.
he just makes a lot of questionable kind of calls. Like he was part of the reason that they got rid of Baker Mayfield and all this kind of stuff. And then the Deshaun Watson of it all. Whose decision was it to bring in Deshaun Watson? I don't know, but it was a wrong decision. So yeah, that's just head scratching kind of moments. Anyway, I'll start ranting about Kevin Stefanski.
The Browns.
And the Browns. Yeah, the Browns don't really deserve too much airtime this week. We'll do, for anybody listening out there, we'll be doing a power ranking short later in the week. You know, maybe if Adam gets time off work or something. And yeah, they'll be.
That's if we can fit his arguing in a short.
Yeah, true.
So 3 minutes, I think, is the max. So.
True. But they will appear, and I've got like a spoiler alert, they won't appear in the top 10 or the middle. They might appear in the last section. So yeah, watch out for that one. In our spin to win game this last week, to get to the fantasy side of things, let's start. Where will we start? Suppose we'll start at the top. We'll start at the what could be the top. Could be the top. Jacoby Brissett for Adam got him 20 points. Derrick Henry did all right. Brock Bowers 12 points. Jahmyr Gibbs was the top running back this week, so 33.5 points. Always is.
Great.
So Adam got 85.44 points.
I think there has to be some kind of thing where we get like a portion of his points because we picked his team.
Personally, I think we should ban players like Jahmyr Gibbs. Like he just doesn't need to be there. We can't pick him. I know we picked him for him. We could have picked anybody. We could have picked David Montgomery. Yeah,
we're just not that cruel. Like, but I feel like he would have done that.
He definitely. Whoa. No, there's honor about him. There's an honor there. Ken wants to win. But
he complain about it after.
Like on a little like side note, I only just about made it into like the family kind of fantasy league that we have off the back of Adam not starting Harold Fannin at tight end. So I'm so grateful to Adam. We were the two highest scorers on the week by a good bit. I beat him 146 to 143 in a league where you typically score about 110, 120 points.
Oh, okay.
But this is like, you have to excuse Adam a little bit at this time of year because he works about 80 hours a week at this time.
Yeah, he disappears.
Hospitality industry. Shocking. But he must have forgotten to switch out George Kittle. I didn't even notice until the last minute. So George Kittle's on a bye and he's got Harold Fannin on his bench with 21.4 points. So he would have scored like 170 points or something, 165 points and just wiped the floor with me. But I made it. I just about made it.
With that, the thing he was complaining about, the
auto sub. Now
would it have worked or like would it have?
Yeah, that would have been really good for him. But also checking his team would have been good as well.
True.
Don't want to harp on about that too much. I'm just doing this in the order I've got it written out. So I would be the next one that I'm discussing. Patrick Mahomes let me down. 3 interceptions and 8 touchdowns. 8.8 points. JSN did give me 24.6, which was good. The Broncos D got me 11. So, some guys pulled me up. I got 69.8 points. Isn't too bad. Not too bad.
Nice.
Not great. Not terrible. We'll go to Thomas because you have like a parentheses beside your one. So Thomas, Cam Ward got him at 12 points. That's reasonable.
Yeah.
James Cook 10. CeeDee Lamb got that concussion, got 15.1. Puka Nacua, top wide receiver on the week, 32.2. I think he was the top.
Oh, flip's sake.
But he got 77.68 points. So he's behind Adam there.
That's like double his average so far.
But yeah, that's a big improvement for him, but still losing ground on number 1, which is crazy. And Nathan, you are sitting on a low total at the moment. So you've got like Caleb Williams in
God.
there who was okay. The Vikings defense pulled you out 19, but everybody else was a bit disappointing. So like Darnell Washington, 1.7, Jamar Chase, 7.7, Brees Hall, 4.3. Not good. 8.64 points. But you've got AJ Brown to play. So if AJ Brown goes out and gets you like 20 plus points, you could beat me. Good.
Oh, that's all right.
If he goes out and somehow gets you like 40 points, you could beat Adam. For the Fantasy Dream Team this week, everybody's always excited about that. We did pick the QB1. We've done this consistently on a week-to-week basis the last like 3 or 4 weeks, is we picked at least one position as the number one. So Josh Allen, 37.84 points. Great. Awesome.
Yeah.
It gets worse as we go along the list. Devon Achane, 17 points. He got injured at one point.
That's right, yeah.
Yeah. So he had like a rib injury, was doing quite well. That's not great for us. Jamar Chase, if we had picked T. Higgins had an unbelievable week.
Yeah, I have him in our 4-person one.
And Jamar Chase went out and got 7.7. That's not good.
What?
And then Tyler Warren in that great matchup against the Jags, not helped by the fact that Daniel Jones went out, got us 2.7. So, yeah, rest of it, not very good. 65.24. The best ones outside of like Josh Allen, we've already said. Jahmyr Gibbs, we already mentioned in another segment, 33.5. Puka Nacua in another one, 32.2. Harold Fannin, we mentioned as well, 21.4. Tight end 1 on Adam's bench in another universe. 124.94. So that doesn't sound good, does it? It's 52% we ended up with this week. Which
the 50%,
over 50, it's over 50.
That's the thing, like.
And to be honest, this
you're trying to guess the top of each thing, like it's like
yeah. And the percentage always sounds bad because like the difference between first at the position and 15th at the position is just like it's like 20 points most of the time. You know, it's wild stats. So, you know, if you miss out on like Josh Allen and you pick Patrick Mahomes this week, for example, that's like a 30-point swing just on that.
Yeah.
So I don't know why you would have picked Mahomes against the Texans defense, but yeah, some people might. Some poor fantasy heads might have been forced to in another world as well.
It's true.
That is really bad. Let's go. Well, where will we go next? You're missing Thomas for this, but we're going to go to the Fantasy A&E. And in the future, we'll get lovely like sirens and everything to go to the Fantasy A&E. You know, it's going to be high production quality. It's going to be in the
next season, you know.
crazy good. But I suppose starting at the bottom, because I think this is the order kind of in the way that these injuries occurred. I'm going to stick solely to like the major fantasy implications. CeeDee Lamb is in concussion protocol, which is huge if you're in your fantasy playoffs. You've had CeeDee Lamb all season. You've been waiting for this all year. He might miss at least the next week. Hopefully, because that game was on Thursday and his next game won't be. I assume it's a Sunday kickoff. There's a bit of a chance for him to come back and clear protocol, but keep an eye on that one. Rome Odunze, who had a great start to the season, has kind of tailed off a little bit. Missed week 14 there with a stress fracture in his foot and is considered week to week. So that's worth keeping an eye on. We talked about Devon Achane, who left the game with a rib injury. Reportedly, he was kept out for like precautionary measures towards the end of the game because the NFL is magic and they do like MRIs in like 2 seconds and it's not broken. The rib's not broken.
Okay.
So he should be good to go, but worth keeping an eye on again. We'll maybe talk about that when we come to the streaming options. And Jaden Daniels has aggravated that elbow injury. Like when his elbow went the wrong way, he's kind of, tweaked that. So he'll more than likely miss this game. The odds at the moment for that game between them and the Giants have them as pretty significant underdogs, which kind of implies that Vegas think that he's going to miss it. Okay. Zach Ertz, tight end for the Commanders, had a horrifying looking ACL injury. He went to catch a ball and like somebody's shoulder went into his knee and it just went the wrong way and It looked like it was broken in multiple places, but turns out it's just a torn ACL. I say just, but he's gone for the season. Geno Smith, if anybody out in fantasy world still starting him, I feel sorry for you, but he is struggling with a right shoulder injury. He left that game. Kenny Pickett finished off that game, so again, worth keeping an eye on. Daniel Jones, in the game that we watched here, tore his Achilles, which is not great. So he is done for the season. He was having a real good redemption arc kind of season. But it'll be Riley Leonard or Brett Rippon the rest of the way. So not good if you're a Colts fan. And it's bad if you have like Michael Pittman, if you have Tyler Warren, it's bad across the board.
Oh no, that's true.
For any fantasy owners, even Jonathan Taylor fantasy owners, because running backs are really only as good as their offense is. So without Jones, maybe that offense takes a step back. It's rough going. Lastly, that's definitely not least, T. Higgins, who had a great weekend there. His head hit the turf and he is in concussion protocol. That's significant because that's the second time he's been in concussion protocol this season. So I'm not a head doctor, but I can imagine that multiple concussions are worse than just one concussion. And I think like that impact over a season typically just, it's going to get worse and worse as it goes. So the odds of him playing next week, very, very slim. But yeah, good for Jamar Chase. Fantasy heads, I suppose. Joe Burrow's just going to pepper him with the ball.
Yep.
And that is it for the big injury news this week. You don't have your usual third string running back on the Seattle Seahawks kind of injury news, but we've covered the main
never
stuff.
know who people have on their teams, like, just in case.
No, and also I apologize that we don't have like Thomas butchering names the way he normally does, but hopefully he won't be in as many meetings next week, and he will be back to try to pronounce Chimere Dike again. I think he's just
not the same.
He's given up on that one, hasn't he?
It's just the best one is Monongai, because it changes every time he says it.
He has no clue how to pronounce that name. He has no clue. He doesn't know how many N's or G's or whatever is in that name. That is wild stuff. Oh man!
If I had more time, I would go back and make a compilation of it. But
God! I think for like a short segment on an episode, like me, you, and Adam should all just go out like the week before and just try to find as many out there kind of names as possible, and just hand them to him, and we just let him rip for like 5 minutes. Just pronounce these names whatever way you see fit. And then just that's your short right there. And
that's a great one.
1 million views, 100 million views, I don't know. As long as he doesn't like mispronounce it in a really like dodgy way. Demonetizing, getting taken out by like a firing range kind of thing. Anyway, moving on. I had like a whole thing planned this week, and I don't have my kind of buddy.
Oh,
me and Thomas nailed it last week.
Oh, that was perfect. So it was like.
So to introduce the segment, we're going to move. We're not on the stream train anymore. We've been on the stream train for a while. We're saying goodbye. We're leaving it at the coast, and we're going on, hopping aboard the stream boat to set sail for your championship. See what I did?
Oh
man!
Genius.
I mean, that is just absolute top-notch comedy. But to start off the stream boat, it is really slim pickings. I say this every week, but it gets worse every week. Streaming game, not good. Hopefully you have your bye weeks and all are over. So hopefully you have your quarterback, running back, wide receiver all set. You don't need to worry about this list. But if you are in a tricky position, maybe you've had injury trouble, maybe you've just about scraped into your playoffs by just the skin of your teeth, but your roster's not really championship worthy, hit up a few of these names here. Let's try to win a championship. Let's try to do it. Anybody can win. Anything can happen in the playoffs. This is the thing. You've made it to the final 6 or final 4 or whatever. Anything can happen. Anything can happen. I've seen people go in with like a 6-7 record or 6-8 record to the playoffs and go and knock off the top seed. I've seen it happen. It's been done. Don't give up. But we're gonna we're gonna start at quarterback with a guy that I've mentioned so many times before, and Thomas hates it. So I'm glad that Thomas isn't here. Tyler Shuck, because he can't pronounce that name either. But Tyler Shuck has had 2 20+ point games back to back weeks, and his fantasy playoff run-in is versus Carolina, versus the Jets, and at the Titans.
Oh, whoa.
So if they just let him throw the ball and just try to win each of those games, there's a chance that maybe you're the Jaden Daniels owner and you're missing just a little piece, or maybe Lamar Jackson's letting you down. If he can come in and get you like 20 points, that could win you a matchup. And he's only owned in 16% of 12-person leagues. So he should be available. My top running back this week, this is the one that I'm saying you need to be paying close attention to injury news. Jalen Wright for the Miami Dolphins, running back, is only owned in 4% of leagues. They're playing against the Steelers this week. When Achane went down last week, Jalen Wright came in and had 24 carries for 107 yards and a touchdown. 24 carries. And he didn't even play the whole game. So if he gets the full workload against the Steelers, then watch out for that one. He's only owned in 4% of leagues, I think I said. This is a guy, wide receiver. We mentioned this towards the start of the season, the last time that CeeDee Lamb missed time. And Flournoy, or Flournoy, whatever way you want to pronounce it, but Ryan Flournoy is what I'm calling him, is against the Vikings this week, which is a tough enough matchup. Let's say this is streaming, so you're really like desperation kind of stuff. He's only owned in 2% of leagues. With CeeDee Lamb missing a good bit of that last game, he had 13 targets, 9 catches, 115 yards, and 1 touchdown last week. He did something similar when Lamb missed time before. So if he's the second option on the Cowboys in at least the next game, because of that concussion for Lamb, he's worth looking at. And here's one. Tight end was really tough to find this week. Old fantasy heads, like dynasty heads like myself, will know this name, but I don't think anybody else will really care about this name. Ben Sinnott. Do you know who Ben Sinnott is?
Never heard of him.
Backup tight end for the Washington Commanders. Is only owned in 2% of leagues. We talk about like targeting injuries. Zach Ertz is out. And Ben Sinnott, when he came out of college, was viewed as like he was going to be the next big thing at tight end. He was going to catch all these passes. People picked him up in Dynasty thinking he's going to be great. And Zach Ertz isn't going to be there that long. Turns out Zach Ertz is still there 2 years on. But he's not there this week. And Sinnott is against the New York Giants. There's a chance for some points there. If you really need help at tight end, which I know a lot of people are desperate. And then finally, defense-wise, if nobody has the Bears in your league, I think they're only owned in about 20% of leagues, pick up the Bears. They're playing against the Cleveland Browns. And
Definitely,
and they're getting turnovers for fun. So just get the Bears. Just in the hope that happens. There you go. That's the top options. The only other honorable mention I have is Shedeur Sanders, who's only owned in 18% of leagues. And they're playing against the Bears this week, the Browns. So again, I've just said about the Bears defense. Bears defense get turnovers, but they give up a lot of yards. Shedeur Sanders doesn't really care if he throws 2 interceptions as long as he gets 2 or 3 touchdowns. So it could be fun. And he's named the start of the rest of the season. So there you go.
That's a great job.
Oh, and also check if Devin Singletary is available in your league. A lot of people will have forgotten about him because of the bye week. He's only owned in 46% of 12-person leagues. And he's the presumed starter for the Giants in the next game. He got 17.7 points in their last game. Just, if he's available, go and pick him up. Even just to stop somebody else from getting him, because that's what a lot of it is as well. This is a tactic I didn't talk to you about as well, Nathan. I haven't talked to the fantasy guys out there about either. But a lot of the time, look at your run-in, look at who you're likely to be playing in the playoffs. Look at the players that they need. And if you've got a high waiver priority and a bench spot that you're not using, take the best possible player that they could pick up at whatever position they need. It's a real dick move, but if somebody who's going to be playing against you in the championship, say, has that Achane injury, or he's going to be playing against you in the playoffs this week and he's got that Achane injury, or he's got that CeeDee Lamb injury, and there's a really good wide receiver, a really good running back out there, go and pick them up. You've got a better waiver priority than him. even if he sits on the bench and gets 20 points in your bench, it doesn't matter. He's not getting 20 points on that guy's starting lineup. So that's like it's like an underhanded, like, this is how to sneak win your fantasy league, coming from a guy who's got, what, 4 championships? Lost count at this point. Anyway, yeah. That is it for our significant segments this week. We're really just going to have a little bit of fun at the end. Unless, do you have any questions?
Shortest episode, so it is.
Do you have any questions this week?
Like, cause our we're in the playoffs for our things. I don't have any question time stuff either, so I don't. So
no, I think
I know everything now. You know what I mean?
Yes, this is it. No, we've covered a lot of stuff. It'll be fun in the off season as well, because we'll get to do like a lot of fantasy, or a lot of like NFL draft stuff, and then a lot of fantasy football draft kind of stuff and dynasty kind of stuff. Because that's the great thing. That's what I love about dynasty and standard leagues are completely different kind of animals. Standard leagues is great to draft a new team every year and have a bit of fun with that, and you're not tied down to that. And they tend to be really competitive like the whole way through, because everybody's got a brand new team and they love it. Dynasty is a bit different. I love it because you've got a team all year round. So if I want to trade a guy or add a guy in like the middle of March, I can do it for like no reason. Just other than I can.
Just take a random notion, like, I need to trade that guy.
Yeah. And you typically do your drafts like pretty much immediately after the NFL draft, because you're only drafting rookies, really, and you bring those those guys in to fill some empty spots, and there's loads of like hype going on. You get some teams who think they're going to win a championship, so they just trade all of their draft picks to get really good players, and then you get people who trade all of their players to get really good draft picks because they're rubbish. So it's really good fun. it's really good fun, but it's a bit more complicated, a bit more complex. Yeah, it's just a lot more trading. I think first time fantasy players are always scared of trading.
I just don't know how, like, with the dynasty stuff, how you try and figure out if someone's going to be good, or like, I must imagine that like an injury to someone must just wreck a team sometimes. It must do.
Well, typically, I mean, I know the way I do it. I have 3 IR spots. A lot of leagues will go in with more IR spots.
Oh, okay,
and what they call taxi spots as well. So you'll have like a taxi squad where it'll be like, say I'll draft a rookie who I know kind of isn't going to play his first year in the league. I stick him onto the taxi squad and he doesn't take up a roster spot. But as soon as I take him, as soon as I take him out of that taxi squad, I can't put him back into it. That's it. Yeah, Dynasty I just love, because you can just play it all year round. But we'll go into Dynasty a lot more after the season's over, because there'll be none of this fantasy football stuff to talk about. Have dead air for months. We might just do one episode a month and just see how it goes.
Yeah. Well, there's not much update this month, and
but I suppose we were gonna revisit. I think Adam wanted to discuss this as well, so it's annoying that he's not here. But revisit our top MVP candidates for the NFL, and the list hasn't really changed a whole lot.
No, I think
apart from maybe Jordan Love keeps moving up that list. The more big teams he beats, the more he moves up that list.
I just feel like he still doesn't do the best under a lot of pressure.
Yeah, even with the game yesterday, where he did play great in the majority of the game.
Mm-hmm. There wasn't much.
He threw an interception near the start of that game that I don't know what he was looking at. Like he threw it straight to a Bears defender, so he still has that in him. Which is partly the reason I disregarded Sam Darnold as an MVP candidate earlier in the year. He's still got that kind of like erratic, I'm going to lose you a football game kind of mentality.
Everything's going well here, but I'll screw it up. So
yeah. Whereas the guys at the top of the list, the top 3, who I think is kind of what they've narrowed the list down to, odds wise. Well, more than likely win you a game week to week. So like Matthew Stafford is still the odds-on favorite. Drake May is still second favorite there. Josh Allen way back, but I think they were talking about this Yeah, I've heard people talking about this, and it's part of the reason Lamar Jackson didn't win MVP again last year, even though technically, like statistically, he had a better season than Josh Allen. It's really hard to repeat. It's really hard to keep winning MVP because it feels like you have to
Okay.
one up what you've done before.
Yeah. Like people remember what you did last year as such,
Yeah,
so they're kind of expecting something bigger.
yeah. So Josh Allen's being judged on the fact that he won it already last year, so they're like, oh, he's got to do something really, really big this year.
Yeah.
Um, so no matter how many heroics and running over guys and scoring 6 touchdowns a game he does, he still might not win it.
And it's like you were saying, like his team kind of doesn't help either, does it? Like it's not like he's got
Yeah,
like Stafford has like all these guys around him that are kind of
yeah. Like
ridiculous.
weirdly,
So they
like
are like
yeah, like MVP wise, he's like one of the more deserving guys because you talk about what is MVP? What's the most valuable player? Right? Okay, well, most valuable player is the guy who just does everything. And
yeah,
if you remove any of these guys from the team, they obviously get worse. But you feel like the Rams would find a way to do something without Stafford.
yeah.
The Patriots maybe not so much without Drake May. I feel like Drake May is a really key piece there, but their defense might at least hang around. No, maybe not. Their defense hasn't been good this year. So maybe Drake maybe
Oh,
does deserve
right.
a lot of pop there because he's been really good.
But again, though, like with the easier schedule
Yeah, yeah. This
for
is this
Patriots,
this
it's
is
kind
this
of
is the argument.
it's
This
hard to
one.
tell like
Yeah,
what he could do again.
true, true. I mean, the great thing is we've got an MVP off kind of next week where it's the Bills at the Patriots. So, so
Yeah,
we could just leave
that's a good
that and
one.
just say like, right, okay, whoever wins that game is in the MVP conversation. Whoever loses that game is out of the MVP conversation, and just move on with our lives. Because that strikes me as a bit of just a Josh Allen like team on your back kind of game. It's in New England, and you just know how much it would mean for him to just walk into New England and just score like 6 or 7 touchdowns and destroy the Patriots.
It'd be great to see Thomas's face after that. Like, so.
Yeah, yeah. Oh man. We'll see what the odds are for that later. I'd love to see what the over under is for that game. That's gonna be
Yeah,
that is gonna be crazy. I feel like that might be almost definitely be one of our matchup discussions if we get around to it this week as well. It's
definitely.
just
Yeah,
brilliant. Outside of those three guys, like Josh Allen's plus 1,500, which we were talking about this before. We don't really know what that means, but we're imagining about 15 to 1. We don't really know. Because Jordan Love is number 4 in the NFL.com's top MVP candidates. Is number 3 in betting odds at the moment. This has confused us. We looked up DraftKings betting odds, and he's plus 1,000, so he's about 10 to 1 ish to win MVP. Jordan Love. I don't know. I mean, can we see a world where he goes on a tear down the stretch and wins MVP? You're the Packers fan. You gotta have an opinion.
well, especially at the minute, I think you'd have to do a lot to get to that point. Like, so would.
I'm gonna see who do the Packers play on their schedule because it's kind of about those
It's
statement
not
games
too
and
bad a
about
schedule, so it's not.
it's
If I
those
remember
it's
right.
those statement games. It's who you play on those big time moments. Like they've got a tough enough, particularly like next 2 games. So they're at the Broncos, then at the Bears. If they go out and
Yeah,
win those 2 games, and Jordan Love has great games, then he's in the conversation
yeah, true.
because
Yeah, and
potentially
then
the
it's
Packers come
the
out of
Ravens
that
after.
as the number 1 seed in the NFC, and yeah, if he just starts slinging it, we'll see. If Jaden Reed gets on the field more, you were talking about this earlier. I mean, let's get our most talented guys on the field. Come on.
Yeah,
I
and
mean,
like the your guy Watson's kind of replaced what Tucker Craft was for Jordan Love now.
yeah, Christian Watson. Christian Watson was always a really good player, but kind of like injury prone as well. So he would miss
Yeah,
quite a few games a year, normally hamstring stuff. But no,
so they've got
he's
quite a
good.
good like chemistry now. So they do. So it's
Like it. The other guys in this top 8 just aren't really like Dak Prescott plus 7,500. He's not really in the conversation, especially after that loss against the Lions. Jonathan Taylor, the longer the season goes on, the worse it's looking for him. So he's plus 15,000.
Yeah.
Jackson Smith and Jigba is about the same. He's plus 15,000. And it just seems like he's had a few dud games thrown in there.
I'm assuming
Unlikely
you
to
think it will be a quarterback that'll get it then? Like, there's no chance of someone else coming and
Thomas
nipping it?
always jokingly calls it like just the best quarterback award. And it is. I mean, there's just,
I know, yeah, they are the key player of the team, like, but
yeah, what did we say is the only or the last non-quarterback, Adrian Peterson, maybe to win it. Jim Brown and Adrian Peterson are the only two. Oh, they're a handful of players of one key non-QB ones. Jim Brown, I mean, historic running back for the Browns, I believe. Lawrence Taylor, historic defensive player for the. Oh my goodness, let me see. That's an interesting one. I want to see that. Mark Mosley, the only kicker to win
what?
the Associated Press NFL MVP award in 1982 with the Washington football team back then. Won the Super Bowl for them in a strike-shortened season. So there was a strike that year.
Okay.
Don't know how many points, or don't know how many games ended up having. He made 20 of 21 field goals in a strike-shortened season, so he didn't even kick all of his field goals. I don't know. That's a crazy one to me.
Must be something else behind that, like, so must be
That would be
some other reason.
that's a pub quiz question somewhere flipping.
Yeah.
I've already forgotten what his name is, and I've only just looked at it. Was it Mark Mosley? Mark Mosley.
If you one of those random ones to see if Adam knows.
Oh man, we've got to hide the recording and just ask Adam that question the next time we're on this. That is crazy. I can't believe a kicker won an MVP. So Brandon Aubrey, hey, kicker for the Cowboys. Could happen. I think somebody pointed out that he is the wide receiver 7. If he was a wide receiver, like he'd be the 7th best wide receiver fantasy points wise. So, all these people who are like, don't draft a kicker too high. If you drafted Aubrey in like the 2nd round, he repaid value.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That's ridiculous.
He was borderline. He was like, you could have drafted him back end of the 1st and been happy enough. Unbelievable stuff. So yeah, MVP to me is down to 3 guys. I really do like Matthew Stafford, and part of me thinks that they might, like, the NFL likes to reward guys more for like the career achievement and that kind of thing. They like a hallmark kind of like,
that's true.
Let's give him his flowers at this point because he's been a fantastic player for the last 20 years and he's never won it. So
yeah,
let's give it to him. So if he continues to play clean football, the Rams end up being the number 1 seed, you could see him winning it. But if Josh Allen goes out and has a few more Josh Allen games, then who knows?
Yeah. I think Stafford just makes it look so easy. It's nice, easy games to watch. Like, I mean, it's kind of crazy in a way, like, so it is.
It's also like, it would be a great shout out to like the quintessential pocket passer. Because we've talked about this, like his rushing stats they're negative. He actually has he has negative 24 rushing yards or something like that. But it doesn't matter because he's so good at controlling the pocket and sensing pressure and making those clutch kind of throws. I watched him play against the Jags in London, and it was embarrassing for us to get just destroyed by this guy, but it was like,
well, him making it look so easy. Like,
it's cool seeing a guy out there, like the amount of 4th downs they converted in that game where he's just dropping back, looking easy, and just finding Devontae Adams in the back of the end zone for just like,
it's like he was playing a friendly game or something. Yeah. So like, it was like that kind of like vibe, like, oh yeah, okay.
Yeah, he's like in the backyard with his kids, just like, move on to next week. Right, okay. Screw us then. But no, Stafford looks great, and it just depends whether he can keep that going. But to the argument of like most valuable player,
that is the thing. Yeah,
he has
the changes that
he has Devontae Adams and Puka Nacua and they've got a good run game and they've got a great defense. And they've got a really good O line. Just the more you look at the weapons he has around him, you're like, is he the most valuable player, or is he just a really good player on a really good team?
Yeah,
Whereas Josh
that's
Allen undoubtedly is the most valuable player on that team.
100%. Yeah.
Yeah, interesting. It'll be interesting to see where that goes when we'll maybe have like a pre-awards kind of guess the award kind of thing and see how many we get right. I think we guessed a few
Yeah.
before the season started. Which no, you're going to laugh. I got lost in the move. The little piece of paper that I had all of that written on. I had it
Seems
underneath.
awfully convenient, so it does.
I've had it underneath my fantasy championship trophy. Like there's a wee gap underneath it. I had it tucked in, and it must have when somebody was moving that trophy, it fell out the bottom.
Oh no!
It's
Well, or was it you seen it and you went, "Oh, we are so off." Throw that
I'm
out.
just imagining like somebody walking into my old house and just like seeing this piece of paper and going like, "What the hell? Who thought CD Lamb was going to be the top fantasy scorer? What's going on?" Like, it's just wild stuff. Oh man, like, people thinking we're like we were stoners or something like that in our old house. We weren't. We weren't. Yeah, we're gonna hop in. So we've got two more small segments to kind of to really get into with only two of us. We're gonna try. Yeah, let's go for this first. We're gonna try to pick a dream team, just the two of us. You've seen how successful it's been with the
Right.
four of us, so you know we're gonna knock it out of the park. There'll be less arguing though. It's always Adam and Thomas will fall out over like, oh, is it going to be Trey McBride or is it going to be Brock Hart? No, we're making clean decisions. Let's go. Let's go and try to find who are expected to be the top players, because I don't really know the matchups that well yet this week. Obviously, it's only for anybody watching this. It's only Monday with us, so we don't actually really know what's going on.
Yeah.
The
Got
Eagles
the
and Chargers haven't even played.
Bengals and Ravens should be a big scoring game.
Yeah, I mean, Burrow tore up the Ravens the last time they played, didn't he?
Yeah, aye, that's right.
Mm.
What about the Jags and Jets?
I mean, like the most radical thing that like Adam and Thomas will look back on and go like, why did you pick Trevor Lawrence as your starting quarterback?
Well, I was not talking that crazy, like.
Well, I don't know where you're going with that, but I just
Well,
think you're
ETN, no?
you're insane.
Um,
Yeah, no, no, the Jets. I don't think the Jets' run defense is all that bad. We want projections week 15. We're going to look. I kind of want to avoid that Josh Allen Drake May game, even though
yeah,
even though I think it's going to be a
definitely.
great game. I think I'm not sure either of those guys are going to be the top guy.
Wait, the Rams against the Lions?
Oh, you could
Something in there,
definitely
maybe?
take somebody in that one. What did Stafford get last week? Stafford weirdly hasn't been that great for fantasy recently.
Yeah, he got 20. Well, Super 8, he was 29. I don't know what that is in the, standard.
In the XFL, he got 23.24. And that was throwing 3 touchdowns. So this is kind of what we're talking about with non-rushing quarterbacks. Struggles there. Neither of those guys run the ball. It's questionable.
What, somebody on the 49ers against the Titans, surely?
Oh, right. Okay. Brock Purdy. No, I would maybe feel against the Titans.
Sorry.
I would feel a Christian McCaffrey game on that one. I'd feel a Christian McCaffrey game. I'm happy to go CMC running back if you are. Yeah, we'll go. Well, absolutely lock CMC, and we won't even look at the rest of the guys and see ready to go. Oh yeah,
it's
amount of guys in bad matchups. Nah, I'm happy there.
There's quite tough matchups for quarterbacks this week.
Yeah,
actually,
quarterback sucks so much. There's always an argument. I know not many people. He hasn't been like this. This is a thing again. I always bring it back to rushing quarterbacks. You know, I always bring it back to rushing quarterbacks. But he hasn't been that good this year, Jalen Hurts. But he's been good for fantasy. He's still the quarterback 6 in fantasy, and they play against the Las Vegas Raiders next week.
Yeah, that's could be a shout.
Jalen Hurts, Jackson Darts against the Commanders. Got Stafford against the Lions. We just
Oh,
might
start
go
back,
for
is
it.
it?
Jackson Dart's back. Jackson Dart is back. Yeah, he played against
Yeah, I think.
the Patriots last week. But yeah, I'd be happy with Jalen Hurts. I don't think we've ever done it.
Yeah, I think so. Like, there's not many other. Yeah, unless like, so he's up the Bengals one still. Like, but I think the Raiders are definitely worse than
Oh, who's playing against Cincy?
Ravens.
Oh, see, I just don't know with Jackson.
Yeah,
23 points last week, but I just don't know.
no.
Feels so it's so unsafe with him. I've got him in a fantasy league, and I just don't feel happy at all. Starting him week to week. Got 43 rushing
Yeah, sure.
yards.
Let's go Hurts. I think. What you're saying?
We've picked this guy when he's been bad, and we've not picked him when he's been good. But JSN has a decent matchup next week against
Yeah.
the Colts. That or Nakua has a really
Yeah,
really
I
good
was just
matchup
about to
against
say
the
that was-
Lions.
Yeah. What's their defense like on their
Not good.
wide receivers?
He's the number 2 wide receiver on the year. We'll
Yeah,
just lock in
Lions.
Nakua, will we?
Yeah, Lions are second worst wide receiver defense. Like let up the most amount of points. So
Yeah, we're gonna go Puka Nakua.
not that the Colts are not much better, but I wouldn't Darnold over Stafford like for throwing to him.
There. Trey McBride had a bit of a down week last week, and he's playing against the Texans, so we're probably gonna have to pivot.
Yeah, definitely. He else
George Kittle would be a great one, but we don't want to double up on Niners.
Yeah.
Oh,
Um,
oh dear. Oh man, this is the
such,
worst
like,
one. The tight ends are so
tough. Like
bad.
what? With the like Fannin against the Bears, would they use their tight ends a bit more?
Yeah, I mean, Fannon's been a weird one because he's been a bit hot and cold. Let me see, what are his actual stats? So he's been the tight end one week. So he's been one, two, three, four. He's had 5 top 10 finishes and 4 like bottom 5 finishes or bottom 10
Yeah,
finishes.
very hit or miss. Like,
So he's very hit or miss.
who else do I have with it? Who are Cowboys against? Nah, that's not worth it.
Or Jakey Ferguson.
That's what I was thinking. But Vikings, like it's.
Yeah, and he's only been like getting back to like solid numbers recently, but
Mm-hmm.
it is interesting. That sucks. I'm almost considering just going George Kittle. I just as like would double up on Niners against the Titans and just leave it there.
Yeah, I think we'll have to like with.
We'll see. We don't. There's
How little
nobody
there is
else.
on
Nobody
tight
else
ends, like.
sticks out to me at all. So good luck for anybody trying to find a tight end to start this week. Oh boy, I've got Colson Loveland starting in a couple of leagues at the moment, so that's kind of where we're at.
Nice.
That's kind of where we're at. Yeah, but I'm happy with that. Hurts, CMC, Nakua, and Kittle.
There's some weird matchups next week, looks there is, or like quite.
Yeah, and we're back to having full complement of teams. No more bye weeks, just everybody's playing.
Yeah.
Should be a lot of like the Lions Rams is a really interesting one.
Definitely, yeah.
Obviously the Colts Seahawks. The Colts have their season on the line there with a backup quarterback.
Yeah.
Got the Ravens trying to save their season up against the Bengals. A lot of Yeah, a lot of
I
wounded
think
animal kind of
the
games.
Broncos and the Packers one's quite a
Broncos, Packers, Bills, Patriots. A lot of really big games.
yeah. Both Patriots is a good one, like so it is. It's
Oh,
actually
the Steelers, Dolphins. I like that one as well. I've got like a
yeah, it'll be a fun game, like
little
so.
eye on that. I really want the Dolphins to beat them. I really want it.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
I apologize to any Steelers fans out there, but yeah, it's not that I don't like the
For
Steelers. It is not that I don't like the Steelers. I like watching good teams play good football, and they're not playing well. They just don't look good. They haven't looked good all year. I don't know. Rodgers hasn't looked great. Their offense has looked slow. Their defense has given up a lot of points. I don't really understand. Like Tomlin works some kind of crazy magic to get them 9 wins a year, every year. But yeah, they're just not a contender. That's what annoys me about it. I would rather see the Dolphins in the playoff picture than the Steelers at this point. That's just me.
yeah,
That's just
definitely.
me. It'll be a bit more fun.
Um, just to add that the on Channel 5 this week, the games are, for UK people.
Yeah.
At 5:30 it's Chargers versus the Chiefs,
Oh,
and then the later one at 9 it's Lions and the Rams.
Lions, Rams. That's the obvious one. Yeah, Chargers, Chiefs.
Yeah,
I
it's not
suppose I
really.
suppose like the still a slim chance of the Chiefs turning their season around there. But the Chargers need to win that game. Like, that's just it.
Yeah,
That AFC playoff picture is getting a bit messy for a lot of teams. And this is something that before the season nobody would have thought that the AFC South would have been involved in anything because we're always just rubbish. But the AFC South, we have three teams in the playoff picture, and potentially, I know like now that the Colts have lost Daniel Jones through injury, that's possibly like their season over. Who knows?
yeah,
But that's three in the playoff picture and two conceivably making the playoffs. Like really, the Jags and the Texans are both like odds on at the moment, kind of to squeak into the playoff spots. So that'll be interesting. The AFC South having two
Mhm.
and the Chiefs maybe missing the playoffs. It's a wild world.
yeah.
Really
It's a
wild.
big deal, isn't it?
Will we hop to our locks and upsets before we wrap this thing up?
Oh yeah, sure. Mm-hmm.
Let's see. Let's see. So, gonna have a wee scroll
Mm-hmm.
through. Do you have? You're getting the over unders.
Yep. Do you
Up on
want
you.
the?
I'm gonna try to throw some out there. Let's see. Just see if I'm right.
Sure.
Because I did weirdly like call the Dolphins one last week. I was like, I bet that's closer than I think it is. It should have been beyond 5 points, but it wasn't. The Bears Packers last week was weird that it was 6.5. I
Yeah,
thought it
that
should have been much closer.
shouldn't have been that. Like,
Somebody did point this out. The game finished as a 7-point game. Vegas was technically right, bang on the
yeah,
money.
true.
But Vegas was so massively wrong with the Dolphins game, I had to like offset it. Let's see. Anybody with their absolute game on the line? Anybody going to stick their neck on the line? Because I've got a ballsy one. I was just talking
Oh,
about them.
for your upset or lock?
From my lock, although they're probably the underdog going in, I've only just locked them up last week.
Mm.
The Philip Dolphins. I might do it. I'm considering it.
Yeah, they are the
They're underdogs.
Steelers are the favorite. Yeah,
I'm
3.5.
sure now with there's a few games that have been derailed by injury, so the Colts spread, they have to be big underdogs now after the injury.
Colts.
Obviously, we're
Oh yeah, 12.5.
12.5. Um, who else? No, the Commanders are now underdogs, so that's that.
The Cowboys are -6.5 favorites against the Vikings.
Oh, they're heavy favorites against the
Does
Vikings.
not feel like it should be a bit closer now, or
No, the Cowboys outside of that loss against the Lions, you've got to remember they're coming off wins against the Chiefs and the Eagles. So
oh yeah, oh
yeah, the Cowboys before that loss were a lot of teams or a lot of guys were picking them to make a run at the playoffs late in the season. Whereas
Okay.
whereas the Vikings, nobody's saying that about the Vikings.
No, yeah, that's
Apologies,
true.
Vikings fans. It's been a rough season, particularly at quarterback.
Yeah, definitely.
Let me see who is lockable. There's so many close games.
I think I think I have to go for to lock the Giants.
Oh, the Giants are in the lock range, are they? Yeah, they are.
Yeah, like two and a half. Like which
2.5 against potentially Marcus Mariota, Jackson Dart. It's a big that will be a closer game than you think. I think maybe the Giants
like
over the Commanders. Good call. Good call. Yeah, I'm gonna go with it. I'm gonna put my neck on the line here. I'm gonna hang onions, as I said last week. Hang some onions. So the Dolphins over the Steelers. I'm gonna go for it. It's my lock. I think the Dolphins are on like a little bit of a roll. I think people are going to still be talking about them going into week 17 and 18 of the season. I'm going to go Dolphins over Steelers.
okay, nice.
What are they? They're like plus 2.5 or something?
Plus 3.5.
3.5. 3.5 point underdogs. Like it.
It's not. It's not. It's not crazy. Like
No, it's a field goal game, you know.
it's definitely doable. Yeah. Like
Yeah. Just takes the Steelers to be the team that I think the Steelers are rather than the team that played the Ravens last week. The upset of the week. Now this could get crazy this week. Well, there's going to be some massive underdogs like the Raiders, obviously.
Yeah.
The Saints they have to be worse than 5 points there against the.
No.
No.
It's 2.5.
It's 2.5?
That should have been my lock. What am I doing? I didn't even see that there.
I'm switching to the Panthers.
Yeah. Oh. No, I'll keep mine. Sure, not the all the same.
Panthers over Saints.
No,
I know
that
the
is such
Saints.
a lock. Like
Yeah, the Saints beat them earlier in the year, but you've got to think the Panthers are going to get there.
Yeah.
See if the Dolphins win and the Panthers lose, I'm going to go nuts. That's fine. Let's see. Do I go wild and just get like people shouting abuse at me, or what do I do? Are the Falcons underdogs?
A lot of rough ones,
That's a weird one. The Falcons underdogs against the Bucks.
Yeah, it's 5.5. They're just.
I'm gonna go Falcons. I think that whole division's starting to swing. The Buccaneers are falling apart a little bit. So
Okay.
my locks and upsets are going to be entirely NFC South. So Falcons over Bucks. I like that they're just 5.5 as well. They're just outside that range. So that is
The rest of them are all shocking. Look though.
good. And I weirdly think like the last couple of times that Kirk Cousins has played against the Buccaneers, not the Falcons, just Kirk Cousins against the Buccaneers. I think he's
Right.
thrown for like 400 yards in each of those games. Like he just goes off against the Bucks for whatever reason. So yeah, that'll be fun. That'll be a fun one. Thursday night football as well. So get that out of the way. What about your upset?
I think I might. The other ones are just so ridiculous that can't see the Browns beating the Bears. Like, can you see the Vikings beating the Cowboys? No, I don't think so. Not in any kind of. I think I might have to do the Lions over the Rams.
That's that big a spread.
5.5.
That's 5.5 as well. Well, we are finding some gems at that 5.5. That's a very manageable one.
Yeah, it's the one that I could.
Over Rams. It's going to be really interesting because that's obviously like Stafford started his career, played most of his career in Detroit with the Lions, and then
Yeah, because
the Rams traded Jared Goff to get Stafford and then won a Super Bowl with Stafford. So there's a bit of like bad blood thing. Basically, like the thought at the time was that the whole Jared Goff thing was just like a salary dump. It was just like get rid of him, and then the Lions would just kind of sit him on the roster, draft another quarterback in a couple of years, and move on.
Oh, right, okay.
because like the compensation draft pick wise and everything, it was like the Rams were just trying to get rid of Jared Goff. So there's a bit of bad blood there. It'd be fun. It'd be fun to see. Yeah, like those, like those. We'll see what Adam and Thomas come back with later on in the week as well. We'll keep you guys posted on how we do.
Either picking the same as us, or I'll still have to pick some crazy ones like that.
Yeah, it
Massive upsets.
is. Yeah, it's a really hard week to pick this week. We've got a pick 'em league as well that we do, where you just pick all of the games and you get points
Okay.
for how many you get right. It gets so difficult as the season goes on. I think the highest each week is like 9 or 10 kind of correct ones, and that's doing well. Yeah, it's gonna be really tough this week. The primetime games are a bit strange, I think. Sunday Night Football is Vikings Cowboys. They love putting the Cowboys in primetime, but I feel like
Yeah.
that one might get flexed out. They'll do this as well. They'll just move a primetime game to an earlier slot and just move another game to primetime. So something like that 9 o'clock window, you have Packers Broncos and Lions Rams, which are two really strong games.
Yeah.
I
they
wouldn't put
are,
it
like,
past them flexing one of those to one of those primetime spots and moving the Vikings and Cowboys down. Because the Dolphins and Steelers, to me, you can still get away with it. It's still a playoff worthy kind of game
mhm.
for both teams. Also, I mean, like the Bills Patriots. I mean, how's that not prime time? I don't know.
Yeah, definitely. Like,
Brilliant looking matchup, but you've got to have a bit of meat in the early window as well. Like you've got to have a good game there as well. So that is us. I think you called it. What are we like? Hour and 16 in? Yeah, it's
yeah.
pretty quick one.
Not
Anytime
hard. Usually 2 hours and
there's fewer than three of us, it seems to be like this. I think me and Thomas did one at the start of the year where it was like over an hour. Let's get Let's good. Let's get out of here.
next one.
But
No,
yeah,
what you're saying is anytime Adam's on, it
I didn't want to say that. Like you said that. I didn't say it. He's my brother. I can't I can't call him out. Uh, but boy, can that guy talk about sport. Like it is, it's crazy. We love it though. I mean, that's,
of course,
it's
yeah.
part of why we
That's the
do
fun
this
part of
stuff
it.
on a weekly basis, because of passion from guys like Adam who just eat stuff
Yeah.
for breakfast and just, I don't know.
I don't know where he pulls them from. Like,
Yeah, he supports the Jets for some reason, so he's dedicated to the sport. Yeah, so this is it.
he's never gonna quit. Like,
I know nobody loves punishment more than New York Jets fans. It's been so bad. Like we've never won a Super Bowl, and I would still rather be us than the Jets. you know, it's just and I think we talked about it on channel 5 the weekend. If you see the segment that is "Let's Get Ready to Fumble" on the Channel 5
oh yeah.
O'Leary broadcast, which for anybody not listening in the UK is all going to be complete nonsense. Dermot O'Leary's even complete nonsense to anybody outside of the UK.
Yeah, it's
But yeah, they do these silly wee games in between because ad breaks in the US are so long and there's so many of them, and we don't have as many over in the UK. They do silly wee things like just stupid games, stupid party games. One of them that's ready to fumble, and they show like a compilation of fumbles before it, and the last fumble they show is Mark Sanchez running into the ass of his own offensive lineman and dropping the ball, and the Patriots scooping and scoring, and every Jets fan will remember that forever because nobody will let them get it. The Mark Sanchez butt fumble, unbelievable. And you have to live with stuff like
so
that.
good.
I don't know.
Yeah, everybody. There's probably someone that sends that to him every day on
Yeah.
X or something. So there is.
Yeah. Well, Mark Sanchez has bigger problems than that this year, if you haven't been following. But
Oh no, I haven't.
yeah, I don't know what the current status of it is, but he got arrested earlier this season.
Ah, nice.
He was covering a game in Indianapolis, got drunk, was doing wind sprints in a side alley, like beside one of these bars for whatever reason. This delivery guy who was, I think, a bit elderly and hard of hearing, parked in the alley because that's what you do because you're going to deliver to whatever bar or whatever.
Yeah.
And is getting ready to do his deliveries and didn't hear Sanchez talking, like shouting at him to stop. I'm doing wind sprints here, whatever the hell he was shouting at him. So Sanchez like grabbed him, I think like grabbed him by the throat and like pushed him against the wall and whatever. The guy stabbed him. The guy stabbed Mark Sanchez.
Jeez.
But whatever adrenaline or whatever Sanchez was running on, he still like attacked him. And then there was like a moment of realization that, oh, I've been stabbed. And he ran away. He like sprinted full speed away from the scene. The police picked him up and
Flipping heck, right?
took him to hospital, but also arrested him. So yeah.
Of
So
course.
not a good year for Mark Sanchez. Maybe that's maybe all of you people out on X or whatever who have been bombarding him with butt fumble messages for years. Maybe you caused this. You know,
Yeah.
don't want to be pointing the finger
just-
at anybody, but you know, maybe it's the New England Patriots all along. It's Patriots. Yeah. To be a Jets fan. But anyway, we will wrap up. I love we get to just like have a go at the Jets because Adam's not here. Okay, you can't see.
Well, he was mad we didn't mention them last week, like, so, you know, in
Yeah,
some way we'll
yeah.
have to.
So he's going to love it when he watches the end of this and sees like a 5-minute dialogue on the butt fumble and Mark Sanchez getting arrested. He's going to love it. All Jets fans are going to love it. I've got family over in Canada who tune into the odd episode and they're going to be like,
No.
they're talking about my team. They're talking about my team. But there you go. We've covered it all. Covered it all in record time.
Whatever segments we haven't done will be on the shorts this week, so we'll just with.
Absolutely, yeah. Keep an eye out on out in the shorts, particularly like the one that seems to do the best typically is the power rankings. So we'll at least make sure that we get out the top 10 power rankings so that you can lambast us, just like rake us over the coals for ours. Tell us why your team should be in the top 10.
The funny thing is, everybody was happy with it on Instagram, but TikTok, it was like everybody had an opinion on it.
Okay.
So it was so weird.
So let's try to piss off our Instagram followers this week. Why not? Come at us on Instagram, you know? What's wrong with you? I mean, do you not have any opinions? Like what's the deal? Yeah. I don't know. Any engagement with posts is fine by me. Whether it's good or bad. You're commenting on it.
The best ones there.
Yeah. You're engaging with it, and even if you think you're being mean to us, you're probably giving us a laugh. So
it's probably the case.
It's good crack. So yeah, absolutely. Follow us on YouTube, on TikTok, on whatever else we're on. Instagram. Are we on anything else that I'm missing? Spotify,
Facebook.
We're on Facebook.
Facebook's a random one. So
we're on Facebook.
Yeah.
On Facebook. Maybe catch a reel on Facebook. Yeah, that's what they're called. So I'm done with the kids. I know what's going on. And then but definitely keep an eye out because a lot of, as Nathan said, a lot of our stuff will be going out as shorts on socials later in the week. So yeah. See you next week. Bye.
Thanks for watching. See you.